So in the last video, we created this messages component and we put it in the messages page, and we fetch the data in our use effect, and now we have the data in our messages state. So now we want to display that. So what I'm going to do is go to the theme files and go to the messages.html file, and then under the nav there's this section. It's really not a lot, so we'll just grab that. And then let's go to the messages component and we'll put that right in here. And then we're just going to change all the classes to class name. So I'll do Command Shift L, class name. And if I save it now, we should see something like this. So basically we want to show one of these cards for every message that we have. All right, now in the messages component, we'll keep the kind of the outline stuff, the section, the div, but this div, the card, we want that to be a separate message component, and that starts right here inside of the space Y4. Okay, so this div that has the class of BG white and the relative, that ends right here. So what I'm going to do is grab that whole div and everything inside of it, and let's cut that. And then let's create a new component called message. And we'll do RAFCE, message, and then let's paste in that HTML, and then we can bring that message component in here. So import message from, and I'm just going to change this to use the alias here. So /components/message. And then we'll put that, we'll embed it right where we took the HTML from. All right, now if we look at the page, it's going to look the same. But what we need to do is take the messages that are in the state and map through it, and then show this component for each one. So let's go right above it, and let's open up some curly braces, and we'll say if messages dot length, let's say if that is equal to 0, then we're going to have a paragraph and just say you have no messages. And then we'll go outside of those parentheses and say else. Then we're going to take this message here, cut that, and put that in here. I'm sorry, not yet. We need to do a map here, create a list. So let's say messages.map, and then say for each message, then we want to show that message and pass in a key, which we'll use message._ID, and then we need to pass in the message itself as a prop. All right, so that should do it. So I'm going to save that, and if we go back, we're going to see the same thing because we do, well, okay, so it says you have no messages for a minute, and then it fetches the data. So the reason it's doing that is because we need to use our loader, our loading. So let's go, let's see, let's return, if not, well, we'll use the spinner. So let's say if loading, then let's show the spinner, pass in loading. Okay, and then else, then we'll show this. All right, so let's save that, and I'll reload the page, and there we go. So it's going to show the spinner until we get the response back. So now we need to show the dynamic data, right? So let's go into our message component where we're getting message passed in as a prop. So right here, we can get our message, and I should be able to now, for instance, get rid of that and say message dot, what would this be? This is the property title, so I should be able to say message dot property dot name, or not. Let's see. So that should, Now in the route, let's go into messages route, the get request. Let's see, we're fetching the message, all the messages, and we're populating. Oh, I said property title. Is it title or is it name? I forget. So in properties, it's name. Okay, so this should be name. And then let's see, for the sender, that would be from the user. That would be username. Okay, so I screwed those up a little bit. Let's try that. So if we save and reload, there we go, rustic cabin in the woods. We should probably put a space after that colon right there. So we'll just do this. All right, so yeah, just make sure that you change that in the route. So I'll probably put a note in the video where we did this, but it's going to be the username that we get from the user collection, which is where the sender is, and then name from the property, not the title. So let's continue on in the message component. So we get the property name, then this will be the message body. So we'll get rid of that, and let's say message dot body. Okay, there we go. And then for the user name, this will be the sender name. So we should be able to say message dot sender dot username. Let's see if that works. Yep, there it is, Brad Traversy. And then the email. So the email, we're going to get that from whatever they put in the input. We could get the sender dot email if in the route we added populate email, but I don't want to do that because it might not be the email they want to use, that they want you to reply to. So in that case, let's change this, and all we have to do is say message dot email. And take a look, we get Brad at Gmail, good. And this right here, the mail to, I mean, it's up to you if you want to have that, but I'm going to just go ahead and change this to backticks, and then we can say mail to, and then message dot email. All right, and let's see, yeah, we'll put a space here. Okay, and then the reply phone. So for that, get rid of that, and we'll just say message dot phone. And you can do this in some browsers, so I'm going to just change this to backticks, and then we'll change that to message dot phone. Whoops, what'd I do? All right, so that should show the phone. What's going on? Okay, and we'll put a space. Where do we want to put this? Just put it right here. And then let's see, we have received. So here we can put the date. So if I look in the database here, we should have in messages we have a created at. So let's do that. We'll replace this with message dot created at, and then we'll add on to that to locale string. See what that looks like. All right, so I mean we could probably format that. Yeah, let's pass that into, we'll say new date, and then wrap that. I'm sorry, we don't want to wrap to locale string. We want to wrap message dot created at and then add to locale string. Yeah, so that looks great. All right, I think that's pretty much it as far as what I want to do right now. Let's send another message to the other user. So we don't want this to be one of our listings, so not the cottage, downtown studio, seaside retreat, rustic cabin. Let's send to the cozy downtown loft. I think we already sent for the Boston one. So I'll say John Doe. Okay, we'll send that. Message has been sent. Now I'm just going to sign out with this user and then sign in as this user. And then look at my messages, and I have 2. All right, cool. So now that we can send messages and we can see our messages, in the next one, I want to be able to mark them as read. And when they're marked as read, they'll still be here because we will have the delete functionality as well. But if we mark them as read, then they're not going to be counted in this little notification right here. All right, so we'll get to that next.